They did not kill him quickly. No sword took his head, no arrow pierced his heart. Instead, the fallen king is on his knees, gasping and retching as executioners force a steaming cup to his lips. Inside sloshes a gritty black mixture, ashes of paper swirling in poison. His own words have been burned to cinders and dissolved into this lethal brew. Surrounded by a restless crowd, he chokes down the bitter draught. Each swallow is agony. The acrid ash coats his tongue and throat, and poison sears his gut. Tears stream down his face as he struggles not to vomit. This once powerful ruler, now broken, trembling, is being executed by literally devouring his own decrees. His proud proclamations have become the very instrument of his death. Around him, onlookers stare with a mix of horror and grim satisfaction. How did it come to this? This man is King Zhao of Yan, and the story of his rise and brutal fall begins decades before, in an era soaked with blood and betrayal. Yan itself was a minor kingdom in the shadow of greater neighbors, but under King Zhao, its fortunes changed fatefully. Zhao had grown up a prince in the royal court, only to be handed over as a hostage to the state of Han. In 314 BC, the tide turned. The neighboring state of Qi unleashed a blitzkrieg. Yan's armies were routed. The crown prince's father, King Kuai, and a pretender to the throne were brutally slain. Yan's capital burned, its people scattered. In exile, Zhao watched helplessly as his homeland fell to chaos. But the north intervened. King Wuling of Zhao, a trusted uncle, mustered an army to restore order. Zhao was placed on the throne as the new king of Yan, bringing hope back to his shattered land. After this bloody rebirth, King Zhao proved himself a shrewd and capable sovereign. He invited brilliant minds to his court, statesmen, scribes, even cunning astrologers and doctors, and showered them with wealth. Yan's coffers grew full again. Under Zhao's command, Yan joined with the states of Zhao, Qin, Wei, and Han in an unprecedented military coalition. In 284 BC, the alliance struck at Qi with overwhelming force. The general Yue Yi led the attack, and like a tidal wave, their armies swept through Qi. 70 walled cities fell to Yan and her allies, transforming this small eastern kingdom into a major power. For 32 years, Zhao sat on his throne, and he grew used to triumph. He enlarged the imperial treasury and built lavish palaces. He even created the Golden Terrace, a sky-bright pavilion to honor his trusted teacher. Wealth and might were at his fingertips. Yet in secret, Zhao sought immortality. Alchemists and shamans were summoned to concoct elixirs of life in his royal laboratories. The king believed his reign would never end, but power is a fickle mistress. In the end, how could a man who sought to live forever hope to escape the darkest turn of fate? Something wicked was brewing in the shadows of his court, even as he reveled in victory. Little did he know, his greatest trial was yet to come. King Zhao sat motionless as the council debated. He had given them no obvious reason to kill him, no rebellion to expose, no soldiers betrayed. He answered calmly that every action he took had been for Yan's glory, but that was not enough to seal his fate, until one act changed everything. The ministers claimed they had found evidence of Zhao's ultimate betrayal, his own burned edicts. From the palace storehouse came sacks of charred paper, the ashes of state decrees. Were these once the king's imperial commands, now reduced to black dust? No one knew how they had been discovered. Some said Zhao himself had ordered the documents destroyed in a reckless vanity. Others whispered of espionage and sabotage. Now, before the judges of power, even victory could be twisted into a sin. He was not allowed to explain. His fate was out of his hands. In the hush that followed, the verdict was delivered. King Zhao was declared guilty of defying heaven's order and corrupting the word of the state. His sentence was pronounced, death, and not a swift one, Justice would be served through torment. But for King Zhao, even death was only the beginning. The hall was cold and silent, lit by flickering torches that cast long shadows on the stone walls. Zhao's loyal advisors sat stunned while his enemies leaned forward, faces hooded in triumph. One senior minister held aloft a scroll by its charred edge. "Behold," he declared, voice echoing, "the ashes of your word, your decrees of state, the very parchment you burned behind closed doors." The paper crumbled at his touch, a cruel testament to crime. Even as Zhao opened his mouth to question what they had found, the chamber erupted in jeering outrage. "Justice!" cried a general whose lands Zhao had rewarded. "He would burn what is holy, defying all heaven!" The council roared. Zhao's pleas of innocence were drowned by their fury. This was no fair trial. It was vengeance in masquerade. When the last echo faded, the verdict hung in the air unchallenged. The execution took place at dawn on the palace grounds. King Zhao was brought out wearing his royal robes, bound at the ankles and wrists. A low platform had been erected amid the torches' flicker. Before him stood a golden chalice, ornate, mocking, filled with dark wine. At its center floated fine gray ashes. The executioner leaned close. He spat in Zhao's face. "Drink," he hissed. "Drink and be judged." Zhao said nothing. He raised the cup with trembling hands. The scent of burning scrolls filled his nostrils. He took a sip. A moment of silence fell, then the poison struck. His eyes bulged. A scream tore from his throat. The charcoal dust in the wine felt like fire crawling down his gullet. He reeled, clutching at his mouth and chest. Blood bloomed on his lips. In that instant, he truly tasted his own downfall, but that was just the beginning. They forced him to drink again. Each swallow was agony. His insides began to revolt. In his stomach, it felt as though coals had been lit. Zhao's skin went pale and clammy. His body arched like a dying whale on a beach, ribs cracking under the pressure of spasms. He gagged and vomited. Not wine or food, but thick, tarry bile. It ran down the platform in a dark river. The crowd watched in horrified fascination. He tried to plead with his eyes for mercy, but none came. Instead, someone hurled a cup of water at him, not to help, but to mock. The clear stream washed the black blood from his chin. Zhao's breaths were shallow rasps now. Every gulp of air was laced with ash. By the third cup, he could scarcely stand. His knees buckled on the platform. He fell to the ground, vomiting up nothing but darkness. His lips had cracked, blood now spilling from mouth and nostrils, painting his beard red. And then came the final blow. A hand grabbed him roughly, forcing his head up. Another cup was set to his lips. One last draught. His vision blurred. The world swam. In that moment, his mind conjured one final memory. The cheers of Yan's soldiers as they stormed Qi's walls, the gilded banners of triumph. As he drank it down, that memory turned to ash on his tongue. Zhao's body writhed once more. His spine bowed grotesquely as though snapped. The torch's light caught in his clouded eyes for one last time. Then he collapsed, face first in the gore on the platform. A slow, rattling breath escaped, then none. King Zhao was dead, his life choked out by the ashes of his own commands. When the execution was over, a stunned silence fell over the court. King Zhao's blood stained the wooden platform, a crimson testament that would mark this place forever. The ministers and soldiers looked on in horror. Some who had condemned him to death turned away, unable to meet each other's eyes. This was not a victory to celebrate, but a cruelty that humbled them all. The young prince succeeded to the throne in chaos. Yan's allies drifted away, trust broken by the brutal politics of that day. Before long, even the great victories unraveled. The Qi state recovered its last cities. The strategist Tiandan unleashed fire oxen and flame to reclaim Jimo. Even in distant capitals, whispers of the grisly tale spread. Rivals wondered if they had crossed the very lines of heaven. In Yan, nothing was ever the same again. Zhao's grisly end had become a warning that unsettled more than it avenged. The cruelty of his execution had not deterred enemies. It had only drawn a darker stain across Yan's honor. In the years that followed, the tale of King Zhao's demise served as a haunting lesson. Scholars and peasants alike debated whether it was justice or vengeance. A king had been destroyed by the laws he himself upheld. The ashes of his decrees scattered on the ground, a bitter monument to hubris and tyranny. Such stories remind us, cruelty can devour its own creator, and power gained in blood often slips back into dust. What remains is a question for our own souls. Would you have had the courage to stand by such a ruler? Could you have faced the ashes of your own words burning and still faced death? Or would the terror of this fate have made you turn away? In that silence, the silence of the platform, lies the answer. Thank you for watching this dark chapter of history. How does King Zhao's fate make you feel? Would witnessing such cruelty shake your faith in justice, or does it serve as a grim warning? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this tale chilling, subscribe for more unsettling stories from the past. Our next episode will cover another brutal execution. One so gruesome, it surpasses even this one in horror. History is not only forged by the great and glorious, but also by the horrific and cruel. We appreciate you staying with us to witness these dark tales. What questions or feelings does this story stir in you? Share them below, and until our next journey into the annals of history, thank you for watching. Stay curious.